This is Michael Wilson. This is part of our Faith at Work series. We're looking at the Jesus Manifesto being the core of our faith at work. The Jesus Manifesto, also known as the Sermon on the Mount, is Matthew 5 to 7. And it's the best known part of the teaching of Jesus, although arguably it might be the least understood, and certainly it is the least obeyed. It is the nearest thing to a manifesto that he ever uttered, for it is in his own description of what he wanted his followers to be and to do. It is the core teaching of how to live our faith at work, at home, at church, but we're focused on living it at work. And so we must spend time understanding the goal that Jesus has in mind for us at work. We find it in the manifesto. So the years which followed the end of the Second World War in 1945 were marked by innocent idealism. My dad was a part of this generation. The ghastly nightmare was over. Reconstruction was the universal goal. So 6 years of destruction and devastation belonged in the past. The task now was to build a new world of cooperation and peace. But idealism's twin sister is delusion. Delusion with those who do not share the ideal, or worse, who oppose it, or worse still, who betray it. And the delusion with what is keeps feeding the idealism of what could be. We seem to have been passing through decades of delusion. Each rising generation is disaffected with the world, and it's the world that they have inherited. Sometimes the reaction has been naive, though that is not to say that it has been insincere. The horrors of Vietnam were not ended by those who gave out flowers and chalked up the slogan, "Make love, not war." Yet the protests did not pass unnoticed. The Jesus Way goal for our faith at work is that we are to follow the way of Jesus at work, no matter what the cost. We need to be focused on all of it, not just part. A holistic approach is critical, and that is our goal. Anything else will bring down the wrath of Jesus on our hypocrisy. So others today are repudiating the way of Jesus. They're adopting socialism and Marxism to counteract the greedy affluence of the West, which grows even fatter. It happens either by the spoliation of the natural environment or by the exploitation of developing nations, or by both at once. And they register the completeness of their rejection by living simply, dressing casually, going barefoot, avoiding waste. Instead of the shames of the bourgeois, socializing, they hunger for the authentic relationships of love. And it's happening at work. We will not be able to avoid it at all as we witness about the good news of Jesus. Our co-workers are going to notice, and they will reject the way of Jesus. They despise the superficiality of both irreligious materialism and religious conformism, for they seek that there is an awesome reality far bigger than those trivialities, and they seek the elusive transcendental dimension through meditation, drugs, or sex. They abominate the very concept of the rat race and consider it more honorable to drop out than to take a part. All this is symptomatic of the inability of the younger generation to accommodate themselves into the status quo or acclimatize themselves to the prevailing culture. They are not at home, they are alienated. So, in a way, the followers of Jesus find this search for a cultural alternative one of the most hopeful, even exciting signs of the time. For we recognize it as the activity of that spirit who, before he is the comforter, is the disturber. And we know to whom their quest will lead them, even if they are ever to find fulfillment. Indeed, it is significant that when Theodore Roszak is fumbling for words to express the reality for that which contemporary youth is seeking. Alienated is by the scientist's insistence and objective. He feels obligated to resort to the words of Jesus. What does it profit a man that he should gain the whole world but lose his soul? So we have good news, brothers and sisters. When we follow the way of Jesus at work, we gain our soul back. We live in freedom. Our co-workers notice the difference. We have no profit in gaining material possessions.